You're listening to the Charity Show Bites, a short, sharp dose of stories and reflections between our main episodes from across the UK charity sector. I'm Tim Paynon.
And I'm Piers Townley, and this week we thought we'd take a look at the celebrity charity work, but not the kind splashed across the tabloids or staged for red carpet photo ops. These are the quiet gestures, the donations, appearances, and behind-the-scenes support that have made a real difference, but with no fuss, no press, and often no credit at all.
Under the radar stuff, really. These are the stories of the celebrities who've quietly stepped in to help charities, and in many cases, changed lives in the process. This is a fascinating one, Piers. I think this is you know much more about the world of celebrity than I do because it's your day to day. What do you think about all of this about celebrities who you get two kinds of celebrities. You get the celebrities who want the kudos and the recognition for what they do, and then you get the quiet celebrities who aren't so bothered. What kind of celebrities do you think occupy most of this space? What do you reckon?
Yeah, you're right, Tim. I mean, the USP for my role at the charity, amongst all the other things we do in comms and media role, is the celebrity liaison. We're very fortunate at the Brain Tumour Charity. Well, fortunate to double-edged sword, isn't it? Because all our celebrities have a close personal connection with brain tumours. They've either lost someone dear to them, or they are living with themselves. So yeah, it is a double-edged sword. It's probably a community they don't really want to be part of, but because they have that personal connection, we are very fortunate. They're so committed to what we do. Some of them don't want to be known, obviously, as the brain tumour celebrity, but along the way and over the years, we've managed to bring them along the journey that we are as a charity, and driving research and stuff. So for the likes of Tom Daley, we've supported Tom Daley for many years. Nikki Chapman, the actress Amy Nuttall, and as we were just speaking just before we recorded, I was at a celebrity concert that was in aid of and inspired by author Sophie Kinsella, who's living with a brain tumour diagnosis and who supports the work that we do. And just going along to that event, you see all the connections that are made. Amy Nuttall, as I say, she came along for the evening. The actress Hermione Norris was there doing a reading as well. So they are very, very much valued as part of our community. They're very much treasured, and it's a kind of two-way process. So they support the cause, and it drives awareness, and it plays into the media game that is, that latches on to their association with us.
It's a strange world, isn't it, really? Because, you get celebrities who, in just like the examples you've just given, are doing, amazing work with you because of the celebrity that they bring, also because obviously of the personal connection, but because of the celebrity that they bring in terms of being able to raise awareness and do good as a result of that. And then you get the guys the people like we're going to talk about in a second, who just don't want that recognition at all. I mean, we've seen it at Firefighters Charity in terms of we've had in the past donations that have come into us following an event or something, and we've seen from the sort of paper trail that that it might have come from a management agency, and then we sort of do a little bit more digging and we work out who it's from, and they don't want any recognition. They've just passed us a donation through their agency or their agent or whatever means that has been. And we've seen that a few times. And we want to sort of shout it from the rooftops. Amazing. Thank you so much to X, Y, and Z for their support. But they don't want that. So we don't make a big deal out of it. And that's
we have that
lovely.
We have that as well, Tim. There was the Hackney Half Marathon recently. There's a couple of celebrities, very well-known faces, who ran that on behalf of the charity, but wanted to just do it, and they don't want the recognition. They don't want to be put there in the spotlight, and we respect that, and that's in confidence, and that's whatever that is, and that has happened, as you say, over the years. It's like, oh, someone's turned up to an event, but I'll happily support the charity, but I don't want to make a thing of it, and that's kind of, it really touches you because obviously that personal connection is there, or that personal desire to help is there, but they're not seeking the limelight. They don't, and sometimes we're like, we would love you to seek the limelight on our behalf, but as I say, we respect that, and that's just wonderful to have the support in any form.
Absolutely. But we've done some digging, haven't we? We've come up with a bit of a list of celebrities and famous people who've kind of fall into this category of quiet benevolence, if you like. And so we've got a little list. Let's kick off, and we'll start with George Michael. Now, everybody obviously knows who George Michael was, and after his death in 2016, as a wave of stories sort of emerged actually, about how generous he had been in private. And again, talking about not being upfront, not wanting publicity, but he did all kinds of things. So, for example, he'd given millions to charities like Childline, Macmillan Cancer Support, and the Terence Higgins Trust. And this is an amazing story. He once overheard a woman on the TV show Deal or No Deal talking about her struggle to afford IVF. And so he secretly contacted the show to pay for her treatment, which is just an amazing story. He has also volunteered anonymously at homeless shelters, apparently, when he was alive, obviously, and gave the royalties from his song, Jesus to a Child, to a charity for more than 20 years. So an amazing, amazing guy. I mean, I think everyone knows that George Michael was a legend in the music world, but obviously incredibly benevolent guy and very giving as well. So some amazing stories there.
Yes, I love that label you've just given them, this quiet benevolence. It gives a certain ring to it, doesn't it? And this is also a lovely one because it's such a lovely charity as well. We kind of know this charity. We've worked with them before. But in 2018, Kate Middleton, obviously now the Princess of Wales, quietly donated 7 inches of her own hair to the charity The Little Princess Trust, which makes wigs for children who've lost their hair through cancer treatment. But she did it without fanfare. She used a pseudonym, so the donation wouldn't be traced back to her. So a wonderful charity out there.
Yeah, amazing. I think we featured Little Princess Trust before, I think we've done I recognise the name, definitely featured them on the show before, I think, but amazing charity and, yeah, nice gesture from the Princess of Wales. Doesn't get bigger than that. Talking of superstars, Ed Sheeran has supported a number of charities in his hometown of Framlingham in Suffolk. And he's donated clothing and personal items, including guitars, to be sold in local hospice charity shops. And in 2014, he also played a small low-key benefit gig in Bristol for Crisis, which raised over £40,000 to support people experiencing homelessness. So, yeah, so you hear about that sometimes, don't you? Celebrities and especially musicians just popping up and doing random tiny gigs, places to raise money for charity. So, yeah.
But look at the difference it can make. £40,000, that's an incredible amount, isn't it? Just for that one-off little gig. So
I remember a story from my neck of the woods where my parents live in deepest Somerset, absolute middle of nowhere. And it's a tiny little village they live in with a tiny little pub. And the pub owner has contacts and he knows people. But anyway, long story short, on the way back from Glastonbury one year, Kylie Minogue played a gig in my parents' little local village pub. And it raised money when we did it as a charity thing. But no one knew about it until the day it happened. And it was just a case of if you were in the pub at the time, you were lucky enough to be there. Amazing. I love that story.
So, yeah. So more pub gigs, if anyone's listening out there who knows a big celebrity. Come on, it's just the odd few bars in a corner of a pub somewhere.
Yeah,
and the difference it makes.
Absolutely.
And over to the stars of the silver screen. Benedict Cumberbatch took part in Cancer Research UK's Give Up Clothes for Good campaign. He donated high-end clothes and he took part in a strict photo shoot to raise awareness. But he's also made private donations and supported campaigns in ways that never make the headlines.
Amazing. Good on Sherlock. Now, Stephen Fry, obviously, he's someone that everybody knows, and everyone knows it. I think he's a very charitable guy. He's recorded voiceovers and audiobooks for lots of lesser-known charities, actually, and I think he's one of those most sort of famous voiceovers. And I know he's read all the Sherlock Holmes and all the what's it called? Boy Wizard Man. Harry Potter.
The Boy Wizard Man. Yeah. I'm sure the fan base will be angry at us now for just distilling it into 3 words.
Yeah, Potter. Yeah, anyway, he read all of those, didn't he? So, yeah, legend. But anyway, he's done a lot of voiceovers and audiobooks for lesser-known charities as well, often without seeking any kind of publicity. One example was The Unicorn Who Saved Christmas, a book created to raise money for the Grace Kelly Childhood Cancer Trust. His involvement gave the campaign a huge boost, but he never promoted it himself at all. So, yeah, legend.
Back over to the world of finance now then. Lord Michael Spencer, he's the businessman, one of the brains behind ICAP's annual Charity Day, and he's helped raise over 170 million since 1993. One day each year, ICAP brokers, financial brokers, donate their commissions to charity, supported by dozens and dozens of celebrities who come in to close the deals on the trading floors. While the celebrities get the headlines, Spencer himself keeps a low profile during these huge sums his initiative has raised. This is something that the Brain Tumor Charity has been involved with several years down the line as well. So yeah, they trawl around for celebrities and they go and raise huge amounts of money.
Wow, amazing. staggers me how much money or how much commissions brokers make. Gosh, definitely different world to you and I, Piers, that one. But yeah, amazing. Now, Steve Morgan, who's the founder of Red Row Homes, he's given over, get this as a figure, he's given over £300 million to charity through the Steve Morgan Foundation. He's funded over 650 UK charities and was one of the biggest private donors during the COVID-19 pandemic, quietly giving £1 million a week to frontline services. Now, that's amazing. And until we researched this, until we looked into that, Steve Morgan, I must admit, I'd never heard of him, but £300 million to charity through his foundation. That's amazing.
That's quite a amount of loose change rattling around for a collection box, isn't it?
Yeah, God.
Over to the world of stand-up, and this is a celebrity that we have featured on the show before, is comedian Russell Howard. He was spotted paying for a struggling single dad supermarket shop in Bath in 2022. The dad, who had been unable to afford his groceries, later tracked him down to thank him, but Russell has never made the gesture publicly. But we also featured Russell back on an episode 21 of the Charity Show podcast when we spoke to Zoe Conn, and she talked about the celebrities that support Julian House. It's Russell's one of their main celebrities, alongside Dominic West, I believe, which was, with another small act of generosity, donated some pigs and some sausages to the cause. If you want to find out more about that, go onto the archives, episode 21, and check that out.
I've forgotten Dominic West's pig enterprise. Sausages, yeah, that's right. Now, another actor, Tom Hardy, has made several surprise visits to children's hospitals in the UK, sometimes in character as either Venom or Bane, to cheer up young patients. Now, you might be more familiar with those characters than I am, Piers, but obviously big time with children, hugely popular, and imagine being a young patient and the actual Venom or Bane turns up to see you. Amazing. These visits weren't announced in advance, all documented by his team. Hospital staff and families have occasionally shared photos after the fact, but Tom Hardy himself has always kept really quiet about it. So I think that's a lovely touch, turning up in character just to cheer up young patients. Amazing.
That could go either way, though, couldn't it? You're lying in there having treatment for a major illness and Venom turns up. I don't know whether that would be a new fear unlocked or not on that, but yeah, hats off to Tom Hardy, who's an all-round geezer anyway. And lastly, after the Grenfell Tower fire in 2017, Adele turned up unannounced at the Chelsea fire station to thank the firefighters. She bought cake, made tea and stayed to chat with the crew. There were no press photographers, no PR team, so no one like myself or Tim there, just a simple gesture of support. The story only emerged later when the fire service shared it.
Yeah, that is an amazing story. And one of the volunteers at the charity, our firefighters charity, was there at Chelsea fire station when Adele turned up. And this is a quite funny story, actually, because Adele said to our volunteer guy, he said, "Oh, I recognise you. Your photograph's on my fridge." And he was like, "What? What are you talking about? You're Adele. How is my photograph on your fridge?" And apparently her daughter had come along to an open day at the fire station and had her photograph taken with our volunteer guy. And this photograph, obviously he had no idea she was Adele's daughter, but the photograph had ended up on his fridge. So there you go. Adele comes around and drops off cakes and tells you there's a photograph of you on her fridge. Isn't that amazing?
That's an anecdote to keep.
Yeah, love that. We often hear the phrase unsung hero in the charity world. It turns out, as we've seen and heard today, that some famous names fall into that category too.
If you know of other quiet acts of generosity we'd love to talk about, then let us know about them through the links in the show notes.
And if you like this episode, follow, rate or share it. It really does help us reach more people working in or cheering on the charity world.
We'll be back next week with another episode of The Main Show, and in a fortnight with the next The Charity Show Bites. Until then, keep doing good, quietly or otherwise.